Welcome back, future doctors in Anatomy Student Zone. Previously, I talked about the functional histology of a respiratory epithelium. I explained you about the epithelium of the respiratory system is of two types, and these two types are according to function. And these epithelia are respiratory and olfactory epithelium. In detail, I also explained the respiratory epithelium, its cells, the function of these cells, and how it's functioning histologically. So in this part, I will explain the olfactory epithelium. I also told you initially regarding olfactory epithelium that this is just covering a specific area, and for this epithelium, nature have chosen some specific area, and that specific area is covered by means of mucous membrane. So mucous membrane in that area is specialized. Why that mucous membrane is specialized in that area? Because it have to perform a special function. And that special function, is a function of olfaction, and you also know olfactory sense is a special sense. So you also know where in the nose the epithelium or the special area of this epithelium or that specialized area is located. So this is a mucous membrane covering roof of nasal cavity, superior concha, and upper part of nasal septum. So in these areas, that is roof of nasal cavity, superior concha, and the upper part of nasal septum, that is specialized. So it's having the olfactory epithelium in that specialized area. So in olfactory epithelium, if I consider the nasal cavity as a room, I will say this nature have decorated the roof of that room with the olfactory epithelium. Besides this, superior concha and upper part of nasal septum is also decorated by means of this epithelium, that is your olfactory epithelium. And if I start looking this area, that is a decorated area, that is a roof of nasal cavity, superior concha and upper part of a nasal septum. When I look into this, it will be a light yellowish brown in color. So it means the olfactory mucosa looks light yellowish brown in color when you are going to see this. It differs from the respiratory mucosa that was lining the most of the nasal cavity and the conducting part of a respiratory system. That was pinkish in color, and that was pinkish in color because of high vascularity, because it was going to warm the air, humidify the air, and all the function that it was going to do. So now I will cover the detail of olfactory epithelium, what this epithelium is, what are different type of cell in this epithelium. So you already know the olfactory chemoreceptors, they are located in olfactory epithelium. So function of these chemoreceptor is to sense the smell. So that's why olfactory epithelium acts as a receptor for a sensation of smell. So it is of this epithelium is also a pseudostratified columnar, but it lacks the goblet cell as compared to the respiratory epithelium that was having lot of goblet cell. Before I tell you about the cells of this epithelium, please focus on this image. You can see three colors over here. Green one, orange, and a brown one. Green, this is a respiratory epithelium that is covering most of the part of respiratory system that we have covered. We here have to focus on this orange and a brown color. You can observe this brown color is a part of a brain, and that is anterior cranial fossa. So this is interior view of a bony skull. This is going to show you a three fossa, anterior cranial fossa, middle cranial fossa, and a posterior cranial fossa. So this one is anterior cranial fossa. So different bones are going to form this fossa, but here one bone is very important for us, that is a cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. It means ethmoid bone is having also different parts, but we are concerned with the cribriform plate of ethmoid bone that is pointed over here. So why this is important, I will tell you shortly. So it's quite obvious that the sense of smell is perceived at a higher level, but how? When we breathe in, odor molecules, they dissolve in a mucus layer of olfactory epithelium. Olfactory epithelium location, again I am repeating because it's very important, that is covering the roof of nasal cavity, superior concha, and upper part of a nasal septum. So when these odor molecule, they dissolve in that mucus layer, they bind to olfactory receptors. It's because this olfactory epithelium contains olfactory receptor neurons, so which are sensory cell, and they interact with the odor molecules. So this interaction of these receptors and this odor molecule, it triggers electrical signals. And these electrical signals are sent to olfactory bulb in a brain. And from there, the signal are processed, they are interpreted in different parts of brain. So besides the olfactory receptor cell, the olfactory epithelium also includes supporting cell and a basal cell. Supporting cell, as the name indicates, they help to maintain the environment for olfactory receptor neuron, and the basal cell you already know, like they were doing the regenerative function, or they were regenerating the respiratory epithelium. Like here, they're also doing the same function. They regenerate the olfactory neurons throughout your life. So you know this regeneration, why the basal cell is very important, because olfactory receptor neuron have relatively short lifespan and they needs to replace periodically. So here we have seen that this pseudostratified columnar epithelium, and that is thick, that is olfactory epithelium. It has three major cell type, and these cell type are olfactory cell, basal cell, and the sustentacular cell or supporting cell. Now I will describe each cell one by one so that the function of these cell become easy for you. First cell of olfactory epithelium is having like the name with that of epithelium because this is olfactory epithelium. So major cell type are olfactory cell. So in actual, olfactory cells are neurons. Please remember this. So these neurons are having connection with your brain. But how these neurons are having connection with brain? Because these are bipolar neurons. So there are also other type of neurons, but you have to remember here that the olfactory cells or the olfactory neurons, these are bipolar neuron. So the feature of bipolar neuron is they are having the cell body. From the cell body, axon and the dendrite projects in opposite direction, as you can see here. So in this histological image, there are the olfactory cells, which are actually bipolar olfactory neuron, as I told you. So you can see here dendrites and the axon, they project from the cell body of this olfactory neuron. So the dendrites of olfactory bipolar neuron, they are present throughout this epithelium. So near the middle of this epithelium, the nuclei of bipolar neuron, they are going to form the irregular row, as you can see here. Another point is that these olfactory cells, these are having apical end or a luminal end. That's the same thing. So at their apical or the luminal end, they are having dendrites. And these dendrites, at their end, they are having knob-like swelling from which long cilia project into the overlying aqueous layer. So here you have to remember that the cilia that are present in this epithelium, these are also known as olfactory hairs. They are located at the dendritic end of olfactory cell, and these cilia are non-motile axonemes. They are not motile cells. So as I had told you, in a respiratory epithelium, the cilia were motile. They were helping in clearing the mucociliary clearance. But if we talk here regarding the cilia, these cilia are non-motile and these are axonemes. So what is their function then? What these non-motile cilia, they are going to do in this olfactory epithelium? And their function is to provide a large surface area for the membrane chemoreceptors. So these cilia here interact with that of odor molecule. This interaction with the odor molecules, it triggers electrical signals. And after that electrical signal is generated, they generate action potential, and this action potential travels along the axon. So here do focus and please remember that these axons of olfactory cell, when they leave this epithelium, they are going to unite in the lamina propria of this epithelium. And after these axons unite in the lamina propria of this epithelium, they are going to form first cranial nerve that we know, that is olfactory nerve. So olfactory nerve is going to form by the formation of these axons in lamina propria. So this nerve passes to brain. So how it is going to pass this brain? It passes to brain through a foramina in a cribriform plate of ethmoid bone. So here, after this passing through this foramina in a cribriform plate of ethmoid bone, it is going to send signals to the olfactory bulb in brain. So you know there are the neurons in olfactory bulb of brain as well. So what's happening actually there? These olfactory nerve, that is your first cranial nerve, it eventually synapse with the neurons in olfactory bulb. So in this way, signal are going to pass from your nose to your brain. So that was all about the main cell of respiratory epithelium. So now I will move towards the next cell. As I told you, the other cell of this epithelium, these are supporting cell or also known as sustentacular cells. So supporting cells are columnar cell. The base of these columnar cell is narrow and the apex of these columnar cell is broad. The apex of these cell also contains the nuclei, and the function of these supporting cell, as their name indicate, is to support the olfactory cell. So now I will ask how they will provide this support, or how they're going to help over there. So there are the well-developed junctional complexes, and these junctional complexes bind the supporting cell to that of olfactory cell. So in this way, the supporting cell help to maintain a microenvironment that is conducive for the olfactory function and the survival of these cells. So the third and the last cell of olfactory epithelium, these are the parent cell. Like we have covered the parent cell of respiratory epithelium, they were also a basal cell. The parent cell are also basal cell in olfactory epithelium as well. So the basal cell are histologically small. They are spherical or cone-shaped cell. They are present near the basal lamina, as the name indicate, basal cell. So most important are stem cell for the other cell type of olfactory epithelium that we have covered. So these cells are also stem cells for the olfactory cell. They are stem cells for the supporting cell. And the basal cell, they replace the olfactory neurons every 2 to 3 months. And they also support the cell less frequently. So it means the sense of smell that is not lost permanently most of the time, because these cells are going to regenerate your olfactory neuron for every 2 to 3 months. Dear doctors, that was all about the functional histology of olfactory epithelium, its cells, how they are doing their job. So we have seen in a perfect way they are designed and they are doing their job in a so perfect way. So at end, I want to tell you another important point, that the lamina propria of olfactory epithelium, it also contains a large serous gland. And these glands, we name them as Bowman glands, as you can see here. In kidney, you also know there is a Bowman capsule, but here in olfactory epithelium, we are having Bowman glands. So Bowman glands, function of these glands is to produce a constant flow of fluid that is surrounding the olfactory cilia. And why they are producing constant fluid? Because this fluid will facilitate the access of a new odoriferous substances, and that's the why olfactory pathway starts and it works from here. Because if there is no fluid over here, there will be no interaction of odor molecules with that, and further they are not going to trigger the other responses that we have seen. I have shared this logical component from your reference book. So I have highlighted the main points. I can say all points, and I'm sure if you have listened this lecture by using your neurons, not olfactory neurons, so the things relating to this topic will be easy for you, and these all exam questions that I'm going to ask from you, that will be more clear to you. So these questions are: the what is olfactory mucosa, where this mucosa is going to cover your nasal area. So what is the type of olfactory epithelium, what cells are present in this epithelium, what is cribriform plate, from which bone it's going to belong, so what's the role of cilia and why they are present and what's their type, what is the histological location of nuclei of bipolar olfactory neuron, and they were present in the middle layer. I have explained all this. So what is another name of a cilia in olfactory epithelium? Olfactory hairs or the cilia, they were the non-motile cilia, and these are exonyme. And so, what is the exact location of these cilia? And last question, you also know they were at the dendritic end. Here, if you know the answer of this cell, I will say goodbye, because I have covered all content that is relating to this epithelium. But here one thing is left, that is, please do acknowledge these efforts. These are just specially for you, by just hitting on a bell icon and clicking on like and subscribe button. So please don't forget to like and subscribe this channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.